Bang. There you go. Gotta support the pick. The item shop's been on a madness. Right now, there is a black dominus in the shop. I might make a video about that, but definitely go and check that out if you want to, because as we know, the black color just is clean. And to those that say it looks the same as the default, it just doesn't. But today, this video is about something that I saw whilst I was away on holiday, and that is a painted Reaper in the item shop once again. These items that are worth tens of thousands of credits dropping for less than 1,000. When I first saw it in my Twitch chat and in my comments, I thought people were talking about the Reaper wheels, which is, you know, fair enough, good wheels. I'm wearing them in this video. But no, the painted damning Reaper gold explosions, some of the most valuable items in the game, dropping in the item shop for less than 1,000 credits. Before I do anything else, I want to ask you a question and to leave your answers down in the comments. Do you think this is a good thing? Because obviously the trading market does get affected when these massively expensive items get dropped for so cheap. Do you pick them up when you see them? Because whenever I see a painted Reaper in the item shop, I have to get it. I have to add it to my collection. And today we're looking at the pink one. Very cool. There is a new LTM in Rocket League. Of course, we've had it before, but new in the sense that it wasn't in the game until very recently. Again, it's Gotham City Rumble. I get asked so much to do Rumble content, so I'm going to play just a game or two, try and score some Pink Reaper goals, and see how it goes without the pressure of, obviously, SSL Rumble gameplay. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can see that I reached top 100 in Rumble this season as well, which is cool. So let's get straight in. I'm going to play some games. We're going to look at the goal explosion and just have a little chat, have a good time. One of the more relaxing sessions today, and I'm going to speak you through how I use all my power-ups and everything like that. If you didn't watch my recent tournament opening with Wan and Max, I had to unfortunately say goodbye to the Sunsetter decal. For now, I traded it up, traded everything up all the way to black markets and got a Wacky Taffy. With a 20% chance of getting an old item, I got a Wacky Taffy as opposed to an Amplitude or a Starliner, which is kind of painful. But we have the Rapstar decal in titanium white from the Rocket Pass, which, as you know, if you saw those videos, I really do love. So I think this car's looking absolutely fresh. And again, I'm sorry if I call the Honda Civic a Nissan, okay? It's just in my brain that the Nissan is, of course, a car in Rocket League that I used to use a lot. Be sure to subscribe down below as well to join the Pixel Army, because you guys have been absolutely crushing it with the support lately. And speaking of support, bang! There's another Rocket Pass code. Not right by the beginning, because I know some people just go on the video and just scroll through the beginning. This one's a little bit further into the video. So there's a Rocket Pass code for one of you. Thank you so much for the support. Everything like that. I really do appreciate it. We're well on the way to 1 million subscribers, and I cannot wait. Here we go, baby. Gotham City Rumble on Beckwith Park. And yes, I'm going to talk you through everything that I do in this game. No worries if we win or lose, and I'm going to also try and judge everyone else's usage of the power-up. So this is almost like an updated Rumble guide, I guess. I get so many people asking me to make Rumble tips videos, but of course I made the Rumble tips and tricks video back in the day, and not a lot has changed. All that's changed really from making that Rumble tips and tricks video is that I utilize those tips slightly better and more consistently than I used to. So here we go, we have a punch. Obviously, rule number one of the punch is make sure the ball is going away from you. Obviously, if you're trying to get a powerful punch, because if the ball's coming at you, it's actually not a good save. It's not a good save when the ball's come at you. And then you want to try and use it for a goal scoring opportunity like that. They obviously just whiffed the plunger there, but he wasn't going to save it anyway. The tendency with the punch is for people to waste it. That even wasn't a massive percentage shot with the tornado coming in like that. But I would say more often than not, when I get a punch, I score with it, even at the high ranks. Or, not a bad thing, by the way, you save a goal with it. If you're just using the punch, unless you're winning, then the strategy changed entirely. If you're just using the punch to just get rid of the ball, it's not really a great look. Maybe, I suppose, if you're used to the punch, you can use it as a center. But like what Ahmed did just there to basically just dispossess the other team, unless he's got a call from his teammates to set him up with that, I wouldn't call that a bad call. Because the punch and the plunge, which I've got now, are what I would describe as premium power-ups. And you want to use them basically for an instant success, like this one. You see what I mean? There's so many people, certainly in the lower ranks, but also in the higher ranks, that use power-ups when it, like the punch and the plunge, when it's not a guarantee. My rule is, for as best as you can, make it a guaranteed save or a guaranteed goal. And I suppose as you get higher up, and if you're not solo queuing, a guaranteed assist at the very least, because they are great power-ups and you don't want to waste them. I would rather have the punch and plunge in my inventory for 3 minutes and not use it than waste it. And you might be thinking, yeah, but I want to, get new power-ups. I want to use power-ups and everything like that. But there's no harm in any power-up, actually, just keeping it in your inventory, because the worst case scenario of you keeping a power-up in your inventory is that the scoreline stays the same. Obviously, if you're chasing the game and you're losing, you might operate a different approach. But if you've got a good item and you're not using it, it means you haven't at the very least conceded a goal, which is obviously a good thing, because that's how you lose in Rocket League. You concede goals. So those are my tips for premium items. And the punch, obviously, you want the ball to be going away from you. See, again, there's another waste there. That was just a nothing hit. Plunger I can talk about a bit later, but Freeze, as we've got it. Freeze is actually, statistically, the worst item in Rumble, but it's one of the items I'm actually best at, and it's the way I score a lot of my goals, because it's one of the most unpredictable. A lot of people try and hold on to the Freeze for defensive duties, but as my sort of Rumble skill has improved, I actually use it offensively. That might go in, you know. So here, I'm going to freeze it and just pop it in. That's the best way to use the freeze, in my personal opinion. It's to essentially fake out defenders. You can almost give up possession, then they're going to go for it where they are reading that it's going to be, and they cannot predict a freeze. And the best thing about the freeze, in my opinion, is that usually speaking, your positioning doesn't give away that you have a freeze in the tank. Even at the highest of ranks, it's quite clear, especially if you've been on my Twitch and you've watched some of my Rumble gameplay with the boys. We call out particularly power-ups like the punch and the plunge, because people telegraph their intentions. They might drive in front of the ball, or be just lurking in front of the ball, or trying to line up behind the ball in a way that doesn't look like they're trying to aerial. And that tells you that they have a punch or a plunge before they even use it. A freeze is brilliant because you can't... There's a plunger there, see? I can stay in goal instead of attacking that because I know a plunge is coming. A freeze, you don't telegraph your options. You're just the only one who's prepared for it. And usually, if you freeze it on the goal line, you can absolutely send defenders and score a goal. Now, this one, I'm just keeping the power up to see when I can hit it. I'm going to go and... See, that's a good punch. I can't block that. I can't defend that. And it wasn't a telegraph punch. That's just a good use of it. The power-up, the power fist I just had then, realistically, it's just... If you fancy yourself to score goals with it, like you've got an accurate shot, keep it at the very least until you can touch it once. Maybe a clear or something like that. But that was just a fun one to have. It's basically the boomer power-up, and I do like it. I do enjoy it. But so that's pretty much, so far, my little Rumble guide on the fly. I'll try and cut and break some ankles. Almost an own goal there. And grapple. This is another very important one. The grapple propels yourself at the ball, right? But if the ball's going really fast away from you, the grapple is just going to mean you follow the ball. It gets to a certain point where the grapple means you don't catch up. So that's a good freeze there. I might try and shoot this. Different strategy, but it would have worked if you didn't grab the spikes. But again, that's where a team calls that out. I think I would have scored with the grapple there because they didn't have any defense. And also, I grappled to maintain my flip. But that's just communication. So the grapple is opposite to the punch in the sense that you want the ball to be coming directly at you, because if it's going away from you, the grapple will catch up, and even if you just touch the ball, it won't add any speed to the ball. So two scenarios you want to use the grapple. One's a bit higher level, but the first one is when the ball's coming at you. However, number one rule for the grapple, a lot of people get this wrong, is don't use the grapple, in my opinion, if you can do what you're aiming to do with the grapple with your car. Because the grapple should be used for something that your car cannot do. So I guess clearing that wasn't a terrible grapple. It just wasn't a particularly efficient grapple. Because there's some scenarios, let's say the ball's been absolutely belted at you and you can block it with your car. You should use your car. Because if you use the grapple and the ball's going too fast, the grapple will actually break and you'll have no hit at all. So no one wants to do that. But another one is to get a sort of preemptive dunk. So if you just hit the ball up the field with the intention of them hitting it back to you, you can deploy the grapple as it's going away from you towards them so that their clear is immediately dunked by you, and that can often score goals or get centers that catch them out of position. So the grapple, there's multiple ways you can use it. I'm going to chip this one up here. A good block because I would have scored that. I'm going to put that over the bar. See, that was probably not a guaranteed goal, but as I'm trying to show you different ways you can use items, there's certain scenarios I want to try and get into. So this, I'm going to... Okay, that plunger was an interesting one. I think I could have dealt with it, but it's all good. Magnet, another one. You want to make sure before you use it, you're full boost or as close to as possible. And again, if you can help it, unless you're trying to take the ball off someone, that's on me. I was trying to explain before I did it. Unless you can take the ball off someone, you want to get a touch. Now there, I could have magneted it to drag the ball down and potentially mess up his hit, but I didn't, so I was trying to explain it. What you want to do with the magnet is get a touch on the ball first, then put on the magnet, so that way the ball stays close to you, and then you can essentially get an air drag. But if you've watched me play any Rumble, you would have seen a magnet air drag from me, so there's no need for me to worry about whipping that in this one. We have to go fast, try to get a dunk on it. Now we can try and get the win, because at the moment our team is lacking a bit. Kick. There aren't really too many strategies I would go for with the kick. I would say save it for attack and kick a defender, as opposed to saving it for offense. Now that's just annoying because I couldn't kick Rexy because the other teammate was just in his way, which is one of the most annoying things about the kick. Bang, and that's a good save from Just Slow. We've lost, but you know, I wouldn't say that was my fault or really anyone's fault. It was just a good game. So that's my little Rumble guide, and we did get some Reapers there. It was we'll call it a heavy carry to say the least, but at the end of the day, we didn't win, so it is what it is. I might play another game, and if I get a cool power-up style goal, I'll show you that, and we'll just see how it goes. But that is my little Rumble guide. I didn't mean for this actually to turn into such an out-and-out Rumble guide, but there's so much going on in Rumble that I can actually just talk to you about it for days. So I do also appreciate everyone that said, I've actually met people in SSL lobbies and Rumble saying they watched my Rumble tips video back in the day, and it helped them rank up initially. So type in pickapixel Rumble, and there is a video out there in which the tips still do apply. So yeah, give that a watch. You can tell I'm good at Rumble because waffling on and on non-stop didn't actually really affect my gameplay too much. Whereas in like ranked and stuff, if I waffle on, I actually play worse. But Rumble, I'm sort of better enough than most people to kind of just waffle and still play the game, which is, it's nice. I do like being almost like a specialist at one mode. What an absolute belter of a finish that was, by the way. I love the red version of this car as well. Just look at it, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the edge light kind of shines nicely on the Gotham City map too. Oh, I thought that was it. All right, let's try and get that magnet air drag we were talking about. Get a bunny hop going. Ah, it's a good block. That's the thing. If you get away with that magnet control, if I get that double jump and get away, it's curtains. Not good for me putting it to a side with two of them on, but that was a good use of a punch to essentially dispossess what was a guaranteed goal for us, and actually as well create another goal. If you can get a save and a goal in essentially one move, it's like a +2 goal differential, which is pretty huge. I mean, punches really are just about angles, aren't they? Bang, might be a goal here. Yeah. A lot of people, you get caught out lacking in Rumble. Just the overcommit there. Look, he's not even close to me. Tornado is where I've scored some of my best goals. I might have a replay, in fact, that I can show you of a goal I scored with the Tornado, because essentially it works on a clockwise basis. If you can get the ball on the left side of your Tornado, you can really fling it forward. So I might go and show you a replay if I can find one. I kind of was expecting the game to end, but I realized it's casual, so I'm just going to try and find the replay for you now. Let's see what we've got here. Here it is. Okay, insane Tornado. I can't remember specifically. I just remember scoring a good Tornado goal. And these are high lobbies. As you saw, Zeph was there, who is pretty unreal. Let's go to player view and go to me. Here we go. Here's the Tornado, keeping it on that left side of my car. We keep up. I had to cut the corner here to catch up with the ball and again swaz it into the net. It was just unreal to get it back from our half to then score it, and it was fully intentional. You can see a few intentional moves throughout that play. The first one being keeping it on the left side here, and the second one, after the touch, cutting this corner here to then get it towards the goal. Obviously helped with the angle of the wall. This one's called Nutty Grapple 200 IQ. I believe this was in a tournament over on my Twitch stream with my viewers. So if we go to player view here, we can see whatever it was the Nutty Grapple was. I can't remember how nutty it was, but let's have a look and see. Here it comes. I think it's just pure angles. Yeah, and then the use of the flip reset. Another one. Yeah, I sort of mentioned it earlier on in the video, but I'll go back and show you this again. So essentially using the grapple to have an infinite flip reset. If you can get the ball upwards at an angle when you use the grapple, and the grapple propels you towards the ball, if you don't use your jump to get off the ground and you use the grapple to get off the ground, you still have your flip because you've never used it. So if you look here, I use the grapple to get me off the ground, which means I maintain a flip. Obviously then I would have maintained it anyway because of how quick I used it. But that means if you can clear the ball with a grapple without jumping, and then you've got a lot of boost, you can use a flip all the way at the other end of the field. But yes, that is going to do it. And if you take these tips into Rumble, you will score more goals, and therefore you will see more of your sick goal explosions, such as the Painted Reaper. See, it all links back together. But if you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like, subscribe down below to join the Pixel Army. I had a lot of fun making this, more of like a mechanical Rocket League video, and it's something that I sort of specialize in. So if you did enjoy it, like I said, drop a like, and I will see you in the next video very soon. Flying in a missile, haters throwing shade, never pick me, not an issue. I am a beast, I'm at the top, I run these beats, I hold my spot, so stop before it hits you. It's pick up, pixel.